Good morning to Innovate Realty's Suzanne. Good morning, Suzanne.
Hi, good morning.
Thank you for getting up early with us today because it is Women's History Month in March, and women are
Yes,
making history when it comes to buying homes. What's going on?
absolutely. Yes, yeah. It does show, data does show that now single women have surpassed single men in home ownership. It's exciting. It's definitely something that has changed over the past 10 years. But now we're seeing more single women owning homes all across the U.S. in 47 out of 50 states.
Okay, and so what is it? What's changing, and why? So it's single women. So are they just saying I'm not going to wait until I get married, or are they just better at saving money? Why are the women kind of surging in the home ownership?
Yeah, good question. I mean, there's some data to suggest that women are saving a little more and taking life a little more seriously. But we can't say that that's not my firm answer.
Uh-huh.
The one major thing is that women historically we live a little bit longer than men. So you do see kind of an increase there with women long term, maybe that were married at one time. But then, now they're single. So you see a little bit of that. But I think the really interesting data comes from women who are under 30. So women under 30 are actually, we can talk about the income gap a little bit.
Okay.
Women under 30 don't see that income gap as much as women over 30. So women under 30 are actually making just as much, if not more, money than men under 30.
But women over 30 are still making less.
That is what research does show.
Great.
But it kind of shows that women coming into the workforce now at least have a little bit of a more equal start, and so you do see actually some of this data coming through in homeownership as well.
Okay, so Suzanne, we know that home prices are super high. Interest rates are high. And so for a lot of people, the dream of owning a home has kind of gone out of reach. But what are some things that people can do to help them sort of get on that path to home ownership? You got some tips for us.
Yeah, it's a great question. So thankfully, there are programs like the DREAM program in California where specifically we're looking at, brand new homeowners have never owned a home before, have an opportunity where they don't need to put up as much in down payments. The government will help them out with that. That is a really exciting program that launched last year. All the funding for that program was out in just 9 days. But that program is coming back. It's anticipated to be at the end of April. So we're really excited, at least for first-time homeowners, to give them a little boost and hopefully get them into their first home. With that as well, we do anticipate that rates are coming down this year. So, they're not at the level we want them right now. I think the national average is 6.8%, but we do expect over the next year that those are going to go down and should help relieve that pain a little bit there as well.
Well, and I think the rates were so low. I mean, down at 3%, which were historically low. I remember my parents had a house in California, like I don't know how many years ago, and they had like 17% interest or something crazy. So even though they're really high right now, they're still below 7% isn't horrific. And the chances of us getting back to 3% have you seen any indications that it might get back that low?
It got to 3% because of COVID, right? So we don't need that. We don't want that.
Right. Yeah, no kidding.
I think, if there is a, something crazy happening in the world, we might get there, but that's not what anyone wants. I think the market, even at that point, was a little bit unstable just because there were so many people buying. So the cost was, on homes were driven up so high that that's not a great balance either, right?
Yeah.
So, we need something that's reasonable, affordable with where home values are right now. But we don't see them going back down to 3% anytime soon.
Okay. And then Suzanne, as a real estate expert, if someone's thinking about, like, they're like, okay, I'm going to start really focusing on getting into a home, what's like the number one thing they can start doing?
The number one thing, I mean, we talk about saving, but I think that people don't know what they need to save until they talk to a lender. So that is the most important thing that anyone can do. Talk to an expert, because, if you're just putting money in the bank, you don't want to be disappointed when you do end up, start looking at homes and connect with a lender eventually and then realize it's not enough, or, maybe I need to strategize in a different way. Or, a lot of times your lender's telling you, hey, if you pay off these 3 debts, you don't have to have as much down payment, and you can actually qualify for a lot more. So it's just really important to talk to the people that know what they're talking about. So that way, when these types of programs like the DREAM program, that's coming back, you want to be in the know in those situations. So if you're looking for a home, you want to buy a home this year, stay in contact with your lender. Okay.
Suzanne Seini, thank you so much for your information. And it's so good to see that girls are ruling.
Yes, love it.
All right. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Appreciate it. That is Innovative Realty's Suzanne.